Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. And today we're going to have a little conversation about my different stuff that I grew up with during my childhood. So, the first thing that I want to point out, I've already discovered or covered the tech between Windows devices and screen reader software. Now, we're going to cover the two cassette players, the analog cassettes and the digital talking audiobook player that you guys have come to know so well. So let's dive into it. So, when I was in first grade, I started listening to cassette tapes on the traditional, cassette. The ones that you have to rewind and you heard it rewind and fast forward and then occasionally eat the tape. Well, that's exactly what happened. So, when that took place, I remembered having my headphones on and I would listen to a few books during homeroom, and I kept having to change cassette tapes to the point to where the teacher was like, just keep listening to it and stuff like that. Well, it made a sound when you did it and it distracted the class. So, we had to listen to, children's books from grades 3 to 6 and stuff like that. So, we listened, and then we listened some more, and eventually I took the cassette home because it was allowed, and I listened until the players had died. And then you equipped it from the storage, plug it in, and let it charge. At this point, you didn't know how charged it was. The only thing you could hope was that it was fully charged. Well, here's where it gets interesting. When I was just 10 years old in 2010, wonderful thing had happened. I received I didn't know exactly what it was called, but I received a digital talking book player. And at that age, a family member sat it in front of me, unfolded the power cord, plugged it in, and it started talking. So I didn't learn about the controls until about a month later, because the only thing that I was informed was the play stop button and the power on button. As I did that, I listened to my very first book on there, and I don't think I'm going to say too much on that. But after listening to it, I kept getting books in the mail. So, then in 2011, it quit charging. Either that or it had a problem. Took it in for servicing, got another player. This one had the bookshelf feature. I had so much fun.
The time is now 10 p.m.
I sat there, got a USB flash drive, which I'm still surprised that those actually are sold. But gotten around to books and started listening to a bunch of books on there. And at one point, I had 120 books. Started listening to them, went to the next one. Then my favorite part of it was battery low. Like that. And one time, I unplugged it and plugged it in. It was a battery low, player off. Doo-doo. One time I got it to do the pitch bending thing, but it was only done one time. The thing that it would always say during charging is battery recharge in progress. That voice, I don't know what the voice is called, but it had the voice of some products that we will get into later on during this program. After 4 or 5 book players that had to get serviced in, I found one that worked. Then I kept that book player for years and haven't touched it until when I made a YouTube video with it at least a few months before turning it in for servicing. Or not servicing, but getting the new book player that I'm going to talk to you about now. The DA2 has came a long way. I'm very impressed with how it works and everything else. The unboxing and setup was exactly what I was aiming for. When I featured 2 of my friends on there, buddy of mine that I've known for 13 years, and another friend of mine that I've known for 8 years. And I, to this day, feel so honored and privileged. The one buddy of mine that I've known for 13 years, give a shout out. And go check out Wholehearted Entertainment and Skylar Jarvis Media For my buddy Skylar Jarvis, listen to his content and subscribe to his stuff. Subscribe to their channel and listen to your heart's content. My buddy deserves a shout out. I mean, some people think, well, all you do is talk and talk and talk and all of that when it comes to making YouTube content. And some people believe in, oh, well, sighted people got to see camera too. They got to see it through the camera. You don't have to see nothing. Being a YouTuber is not as easy as it sounds because you have to come up with content. Some people have to follow a script. I don't. I do it on the fly. You can do it in any way, shape, or form that you want. And I choose to do mine the way that I do mine simply because, like I said, operating a camera is impossible for me. So, that's why I do mine in audio, because I don't want to show something and it being the wrong kind of information. I do this for multiple reasons. The next video is going to talk about some more goodies of childhood experiences. Before I get off here, I want to add in, on a side note, when me and my buddy used to hang out in school, we studied the first digital talking book player that came out in 2009, or as double talkback, or whatever it was called, that was from the Braille and Speak, would say 2009. I'm going to tell you right now. Me and my buddy could sit here and recite the whole instructions manual, and it was nothing but 30 minutes of straight up listening time. And we had well over 29 hours of playtime. It didn't tell us exactly how long the videos were. And I do want to apologize for the extra noise. That's not a sound effect. There's something going on either outside or about 5 miles away, in case if things were picked up that shouldn't have been picked up. But I've grown accustomed to the ruckus around here, so they say a lot of stuff happens at night, so that's all I gotta say about the original cassettes and the digital talking book players. I hope you guys stay safe, have a good one, and see you guys in the next video.